What's up, guys? Jarius here. I'm going to be walking through how you can wholesale your very first deal from start to finish. I'll give you a quick rundown about who I am, why you should even listen to me, what do I even have to say any of this. But so again, my name is Jarius. I got started in real estate after leaving the military, and man, I just knew, like a lot of people here, I just knew that I had to get on the other side of this cash flow quadrant, right? I had to get on the other side, and I had to stop trading time for money. And everybody that I knew that was doing big things were in real estate, and I didn't have any money or experience. So I'm going to spend tonight walking you through something that I did, a no money required technique to get my foot in real estate. And then I took that technique and I took it to another level, right? I took it, built out a really fun system, a really successful team, and scaled into buying many units. I own over 60 units now, partners in 3 hotels. We're do more and more big deals, but none of that would have been possible if it wasn't from what I learned in wholesaling. It literally laid the foundation for every single thing that I did going forward. Before we get going, guys, let me know where you're coming in from. So let me know, drop it here, and drop it in the comments. Hey, and if you're new in real estate, drop your experience level. If you're looking to do your first deal, if you've done 100 deals, if you're in the middle, let us know where you're at. I'm super curious about that. That's what makes it so fun, is we can all learn from each other. It's what builds it up. It's the best part. If you want to learn more about not just wholesaling these deals, but wholesaling and then transitioning to becoming a real investor, a real passive, a real full-time investor to build a portfolio, drop info, learn more. Say you want to learn more, and one of us will reach out to you. Somebody will reach out and share all of this, because I have something put together that's over 100 videos and the transition over to the BRRRR side, so it's impossible to condense it. But what I want to do is provide as much value as possible to you guys here, so you could go out and even take this video, take this information, and go do a deal to go set yourself up. Now, guys, first of all, I'm going to say this. There's no better time to get started in real estate than right now. There's no sense in waiting for anything else. Stars are never going to align. Nothing's going to be perfect. Think of everybody that waited last year because the market was crazy and now the rates are higher. Things will never be perfect. The most important thing that you can do is just start. And not only just start, but start with the right advice and start with understanding the right numbers and the right method to buying real estate. So I've been investing in real estate, whether it's wholesaling or the bigger deals, for about 12 years now. It's been a little bit crazy. Started wholesaling in about 2010 with no money. This is what this call is mostly going to be about, is wholesaling and how you can do it too. So got started in wholesaling. So let's start with defining what wholesaling is. Basically, wholesaling is a strategy in which you find a property that's undervalued, you mark it up, and then you sell it to an investor at the end, right? And basically, we're selling pieces of paper, guys. We're selling our contracts to investors for a fee. We're getting paid a fee to make 2 people's lives easier. And I want you to understand that. You're making the seller's life easier, and you're making the investor's life easier, and you're collecting a fee in between. It's very important that when you go on this voyage and this journey to become a wholesaler, that you just don't try to do a bunch of deals that don't work. The biggest things you can do, the biggest time wasters, the biggest things that genuinely upset me is when people are daisy chaining contracts, JVing on a JV, this and that, and just trying to make these deals work that don't work. And you're making these poor sellers, who knows what circumstances they're under, go through hell. Really just dragging them through the mud so you can try to make 2,000, somebody else can make 2, somebody else can make 2. That's not how it's meant to be. A real wholesaler, a real way to wholesale is bringing value and doing it ethically. What I'm going to share is just exactly how I did it and just a few methods of that. So now we know wholesaling, we're going to bring value, right? We're going to find an undervalued asset. We're going to hook an investor up, right? On the other side of that, homeowner is the investor. And investors, we're busy running our real estate business. We're just busy just doing other things. And I don't necessarily want to spend the time that I had spent finding deals. I'm just past it, right? I just don't want to keep looking for deals and looking for deals. So that's where wholesaler comes in, right? I would gladly pay a fee to somebody, and I've paid plenty of fees, and I'm going to go through the numbers, how that deal makes sense, and we'll back into it. But now we're making this investor's life easier because we're bringing them a deal. And anytime you can make an investor's life easier and bring them a deal, and they buy it, like you're providing value. So that's a big deal, right? You guys are working together and you're helping and you're collecting a fee. So we're helping the seller and now we're helping the investor. Boom, and we're collecting a fee. And the plan is to bring value, keep bringing value, and keep doing this over and over again until you don't need to. And I'll get into that. One of the biggest mistakes I made, I'm proud to say I've done 1,000 wholesale deals. It was amazing. The biggest mistake I made was I wholesaled for way too long. I got into wholesaling with a credit score of 473. Terrible credit, riddled in debt, didn't know what I was doing. I was a product of school. School failed me. I did terrible, joined the military, was fine at that, but just destroyed my credit. And I looked at wholesaling as a way to fix all that, which I did. And I was able to fix all that and buy my first house 3 years after I started wholesaling. I should have stopped then and transitioned to becoming a real estate investor and making passive income. Instead, I took the quick cash and kept wholesaling and wholesaling. And that's where Nate came in. Obviously, we all know Nate, the founder of this group. And Nate came in, and I just watched him. I watched Nate go from, I would wholesale apartments for him, and I'm like, oh man, that's amazing. You're crushing it. I'll keep selling these and I'm making good money. And then Nate's just out sled riding with his kids on a Thursday. He's out doing whatever he wants to do. And I finally went to him, Nate, what are you doing? Like, how come I'm like, from the outside looking in, I'm doing good. I'm making $100,000 a year, but I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And he's, you need to buy rental properties. And I should have listened immediately. I should have stopped 3 years sooner and transitioned to BRRRRing. Buying, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. BRRRRing. I should have started BRRRRing from wholesaling. I didn't. I kept taking the quick money. That quick money has cost me tens of millions of dollars. Right now I have 30 million in real estate between my stuff and the hotels. I could be at maybe 60 million, 80 million. Who knows if I would have started sooner, right? But the most important thing I did was just start. So I don't want you guys to take what I'm going to go through and break down tonight and think that's the end game. That's not the end game. You want to get into wholesaling to get out of wholesaling as fast as you possibly can. And I say that because it's just transactional, right? It's just a job. We're still trading time for money, and we want to avoid that. I want you to get into wholesaling so that you can fix your credit, right? So that you can understand deals, right? You can help underwrite deals quicker. You can make connections with investors. You can do all those different things. That's what I want you to do to take out of it. And then transition wholesaling into sourcing your own properties. So now you'll wholesale to yourself, and then you'll be the best investor you have, and then you can feed the machine. So what I'm going to break down is not the end game. It's just going to be just some quick high level stuff about wholesaling to yourselves, guys. So with that being said, what's up, guys? Let me hit this. Chris Long says, what's my buy box? My sweet spot has always been first time home buyer stuff. I like buying things like Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky. I like buying that first time home buyer box. I firmly believe that no matter where real estate goes, people should always own a home. And their first home is technically that deal. The people going from the second home to the third home or trying to move up, that might be where they think about rates and whatnot. But you buying a first home, you can never lose. That's something that you need to do. You're going to stick in there and do it. So my sweet spot, I love first time home buyer. I'm going to break it out. But for me, I always like to start with the little to no money, right? Because in wholesaling, in real estate, I want to give you guys a zero excuses barrier to entry, right? Like I want to eliminate all the excuses. And I want to do this like I'm talking to me sitting there broke, right? I know somebody's going to hear it. At least I hope somebody hears it and goes and does it. Why would a seller go with a wholesaler versus an agent who could get them a higher price? Man, that's a really good question. All right, I'll answer it now really quick. So, very good question. So, we'll segue into some of the training then. What we're going to do as wholesalers is we're going to bring value, and we're going to give these people in these different situations, we're going to give them an option to get out of their house much quicker. Because for them, the desire just to get rid of it, the home is more of a burden than an asset. So, what do I mean by that? I've picked up a lot of houses where people could have maybe gotten more money on the market, but the home is in disrepair. The homeowner is somebody that lives out of state, that maybe inherited the house from a family member that passed away, and they just want to get rid of it. They just want a smooth, easy transaction. They just don't want to fix the gutters. They don't want to change the vanities out. They don't want to worry about the carpet. They know the kitchen's dated. They know the HVAC's old. We come to them with a solution, and our solution is, hey, we're going to make this really easy for you. Your house is valued at X if it was all fixed up. So let's back into the numbers, right? I'll get into that here. So your house is valued at X. I want to offer you a solution where you don't have to worry about this burden. You don't have to worry about mowing the lawn. You don't have to worry about the upkeep. You don't have to worry about the taxes. You don't have to worry about the neighbors who are mad because your house is empty and it's disgusting. I'm going to go through, I'm going to buy it from you. I'm going to make it so simple. I'm going to pay you cash. I'm going to pay all your closing costs, and we're going to close in a couple weeks. We'll close as quick in 30 days. Or listen, if you need some extra time, that's okay too. I can give you 60 days or 90 days. And that's why it's the speed, it's the convenience. It's not having to make the repairs. It's being a motivated seller, right? For example, a house that I had recently wholesaled, and I spoke about it on here when I was out driving for dumpsters, right? Driving for designer dumpsters. There was a brand new dumpster out front, and I saw some guys just throwing away dressers, throwing away mattresses, throwing away home things, right? Not construction stuff. I pulled over, talked to him, asked what was going on. His mom passed away, and he's inherited the house. He doesn't know what to do with it, doesn't want to live there. He lived like an hour and a half away somewhere in Indiana, and he just needed to get rid of the house. What I did was, the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is just understanding what a deal looks like, okay? And what a wholesale deal looks like, how I back into my numbers is, and I'm going to share this real life example. For me, his house was worth $225,000 all fixed up. And I was able to pull comps, and I showed him exactly how that house was worth $225,000. So I shared that with him. All right, hold on. 200. Oh my gosh, this calculator. All right. Cool. $225,000. So we start, when we're evaluating these deals, guys, we start at what the ARV is. ARV is after repair value. That's what the home is worth when it's all fixed up. So we start with that in mind. Now, as a wholesaler and in the academy and kind of some of the stuff, we want to, like, we don't necessarily want them to see like the best of the best comps, because we do want to leave some room on there and, you know, get paid for our time in there. But at this point, I was pretty upfront. I was like, hey, it's $225. And I tell them, hey, I need to be all into this house for no more than 75%. So what does all in mean? All in means purchase price and renovations and my carrying costs, okay? All in for no more than 75%. So let's back into the number. And some people might be 70%, some people might be 75%. It's all different. Guys, so 70%, 75%, some say 80. I never go more than 75. We'll just say 70% for the sake of this. So we times this by 0.7, and that's 157, okay? So that means we want to be all into this property for no more than $157,000. Again, all in, definition of all in this case, is purchase price and renovation, okay? So what can we control? We can control, we can't control the ARV because that's set by the market, right? The market states that. Then we go 75%, 157. So now we have two variables that make up that 157. We have what we can buy it for and what it needs in work. Now, what it needs in work, like you learn in the academy, right, guys? Those are the numbers, because we're fixing these homes up to a standard. We're not going to go lipstick this. We're not going to go put crappy tile in. We're not going to go do builder grade. We're not going to do this. All my academy members, we all know better, right? We all know how to finish these out, and we all use our spreadsheet, and we know what the numbers look like. For this house, with windows and everything and all that stuff, I want to say it was like 65 or 70. It needed like, just say 60,000 in work. Literally, 60,000 in work. That means, back out 60,000, that means that the most I can pay for that house is about $97,000. Okay? And that's me backing out to 60,000. Now, obviously I don't want to start at 97, right? But I'm going to be honest and transparent for the most part when I'm talking to sellers and buyers, talking to sellers. Just because I know that I can get the house done for $60,000, that's not a number that I let them know right off the bat, because I know that I'm not paying retail prices. I'm an investor. I know how to buy. I know how to source contractors. I know how to buy material. I know what granite countertop should cost. I know what a sink cutout costs, right? So my $60,000 is easily somebody else's 80, 90, right? If you go on the retail end, I just had a neighbor of mine get a bathroom quoted for $9,500 for only demo and tile, not even material, not even the electric, not even the drywall, not plumbing finishes. Guys, demo and drywall. Demo, set the tub, and tile for $9,000. I got my breakdown, step-by-step breakdown of how I do an entire bathroom from frame to done for $4,422. Again, so when we talk to these sellers, we don't give them retail pricing, or we don't give them our investor pricing that we know we can get it done for. I let the investor know, hey, it's going to cost me about $80,000 to get it done. And from the outside in, it appears that way, right? I know that I can buy a window for about $140, get it installed for $125, get a window for $300 or less. But they don't know that. They don't know. They see on TV that window replacements are $900. So I go through and count the windows at $700, make them think I get a deal. So again, we're going through this, hey, man, this kitchen is really nice. It's a big kitchen. I know I can do a kitchen for about $7,000-ish, seven to nine for the average size kitchen. I know I can do one for that, but most people see a kitchen and they think, oh my gosh, that's $25,000. But we know better because we're investors. We understand how that works. And if you're not an investor and you think these numbers I'm saying are crazy, type info or something, man, because this is real. This is real life stuff, that prices that we're putting together our Academy members are getting. So these are not just numbers I'm making up. These are legitimate what we're doing and how people are getting stuff done. So let's start fresh then. We want to be all in, 157, right? Guys, that's our all in cost. And I'm transparent, like I'm using a calculator. I'm literally writing down as I go through this house with sellers. Hey, 157, so 5%. Because I have to make money, because, listen, this is really important, everybody. I have to pay an investor 15%. I have carrying costs. I have holding costs. The market's changing. So I don't know how long I'm going to get stuck with it. You just let them know. Like, it's all stuff that they hear, right? They know the market's changing. But do they really know what that means? But you do, and you're the expert. Even if you've never done a deal, I can't tell you how important posturing is. And watching trainings like this, or YouTube, or the Academy, like really understanding it. Because you're going to be leveraging other people's experience until you get experience of your own. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? You're going to get there. There's no doubt. It's just in the beginning, I hate the phrase fake it till you make it, because I think that can really screw a lot of people up. But in this case, you're just waiting for the deals to catch up, right? You're waiting for the deals to catch up, but you're leveraging the resources, right? You're leveraging this community, our private community. You're leveraging other things to understand that. All right, Mr. Miss Seller, I need to be all in at 75%. I already showed you the house is worth $225, and 75% puts me at $170. So back out what I'm going to pay in construction. And again, I've written all this down. Like, I've got this spreadsheets that are in our private group, but I've calculated all this stuff out. Back out $80,000. Say, all right, look, the most I can honestly pay you for this house is $77,000, because that's where my number goes. And you're just honest with them. You show them. It's $77,000. And you start and just say, this is it. I don't like to go. I've always had the best success whenever, like, I never really negotiate a ton, because I'm like, this is my number. This is how I got here. So, hey, I know what you're going through. I'm so sorry that your mom passed away. I'm sorry that you have to fly out of here from Wisconsin to deal with this. Like, that sucks. I don't want to mess around. I just want to let you know, this is it. This is where I'm at. Can we do this? I'm going to make it quick, cash. We're going to close quickly. I'm buying it as is. I'm a real estate investor. I just have to make sure there's enough meat on the bone. $77,000 lets me stay all in the property for less than that 157 we talked about, and I feel comfortable. What do you say? That's it. You just leave it at that. And then you wait until you get a signed contract. And again, we're not going to sit here and let this specific deal just consume our lives, right? Because we're still sourcing more properties. We're still looking for more deals. We're still doing more and more. But I'm walking you through this, and we wait. The really important thing, guys, that I do not want to see people get caught up in is, oh, they sound like they're going to buy it. Oh, yeah, they sound like they're going to buy, that I'm going to be able to buy it. They sound like they're going to sell it. This is going to be amazing. And then you don't have a contract. You don't have anything signed. You don't have anything. And then you start showing it to people. You start telling people about it. And then all of a sudden, now the seller thinking that nobody's going to try to go around you. People will. They just do. I get that you get excited, but never, ever market a property you do not have under contract. Rule number 1. That is the fastest way to fail. That's the fastest way to look like a joker. It's so unethical. It's terrible. Do not ever do that. Never, ever. That's a huge no. So that's the scenario. And we want to be like, oh, you can't cloud. Here, let me hit some of these questions up here. Is Florida a good market? Florida's fire. We got Academy members crushing it in Florida, Jose. I'm actually going to go down to Florida. I think Nate's going to come too. We got, guys, for those of you that don't know about the private Academy, we just launched these private city groups for members only. Our first phase is like 29 or 29 or 31 cities, and they're all over the country. Like, we'll be like hosting meetups and doing all kinds of cool stuff. Florida's fire, man. Florida's awesome. And any reason to get out of Ohio when it's 5 degrees out, sign me up, man. Florida's awesome. What's up, Joe? We're doing good, man. Wholesalers can pay the higher prices as well. They can. I'd like to start doing fix and flips. Jose, absolutely not. I forbid you from doing them if you can avoid it, man. I need you to understand, like, flipping looks cool on TV. It's just a higher paying job. If you were going to flip, I need to tell you to not flip and to just wholesale it. There's no sense in finishing a flip up, going 9 months so you can come out the other end and make 40,000, 20,000, or whatever, when you could even just wholesale a deal and make 10 in an hour. Like, you just got to think about what your time is worth. You got to think about where that's all going to go, man. But you don't want a job. Everybody watching this, say it with me. I don't want a job. I don't want to get into real estate to keep trading time for money. Do not follow and make the same mistakes I made, man. It's just not worth it. Huge advantage. Cool, Matthew, Giuseppe. Is it crazy to JV with the homeowner and keep the property, have them walk away with extra money? No, as long as you're transparent with them, as long as they're actually going to be out. But I don't even think you would need to, Giuseppe. I think you're better off just doing it on your own, right? Just giving them a fair price and just getting out of it. What's up, Frank? Pumped for the bathroom call tomorrow. Cool. All right, guys. Let's went off a little bit, right? But I love it. I love doing these, man. Let's break down the parts of finding the properties, right? And we talk about the buy side, and then we talk about the sale side. So let's talk about sources to find properties, guys. And again, I say it often. My big thing is I want to find as many inexpensive ways, free ways for you to find these properties. So the first way that I'm a big fan of, that I actually just started reading into a lot more in the last couple of years, really since COVID, is the free resource downtown, like Clerk of Court. So these are papers I get daily. This one came today. They're a little bit behind, from February 2nd, Hamilton County Clerk of Courts. So what does this mean? What is the big deal with this piece of paper? The cool thing about this paper and the online subscription it gets you, which the subscription for this, guys, is $85 for a year. Like, it's as close to free as you could get for how powerful this thing is. So what it does is it literally lays out things that are happening around your county. And everybody's got different resources to go, or different areas. Like, just Google wherever you live, like Clerk of Courts, Hamilton County, Clerk of Courts, Adam County, whatever it looks like. But look, you can check this stuff out here. Notice of foreclosures. This comes in this piece of paper first, right? Notice in suit, foreclosure, delinquent taxes. And all of these get assigned case numbers, right? So now we go through and we look up the case numbers and we can do a little data mining and a little research. And I can't tell you how powerful it is to find somebody that's pre-foreclosure, pre-tax default, pre-whatever, before they hit and get deep in that process. Because we can get creative, man. We can get so creative about getting them out of their situation, whether we want to do something creative with a subject to, put like different, assume their mortgage, or we wholesale it, or we run a short sale, or we want or whatever. And then we catch it in the front. Now, why is it important to catch stuff like this in the front? Man, it's really valuable when you're talking to these homeowners that are going through some kind of struggle. First of all, don't be a jerk. Be empathetic. Really understand this is more than just a house. These people are losing something. And it's just, you just can't come in there guns ablaze and super excited that you might be buying something in like an A+ area. Come through and offer a solution and listen. 9 times out of 10, if you just shut up and just listen, they're going to tell you how to buy their house. They're going to tell you what they need. Man, I just need to get enough to get out of here to get the first month's rent and a deposit for a new apartment. I just need to get enough out of here I just got to cover my daughter's kindergarten tuition for a year. Whatever, right? They're just going to talk and you just got to listen. So find a way to make a win out of that with somebody. Hey, I can help you avoid a foreclosure on your credit. I can help you avoid the bankruptcy. I can get you out of here with something versus you losing everything and having that blemish on your record. I can help you and help them. That's it. You're offering value. You're going to listen and you're going to really understand that. That's one way, super inexpensive, Clerk of Courts. The next thing is one way I actually picked up a couple houses is driving. So not driving around, driving for dollars. I'm not going to talk about that yet. Sorry, I had a little message pop up. But another way is going through and looking for tired landlords. So like I look on the internet, I can look driving with signs. I can just look around and see houses that are for rent in Cincinnati. And I know Cincinnati is obviously 513. 859s like Northern Kentucky. They come together. 937's Dayton. But if I see something like 727 Florida, 614 Columbus, whatever, 301 is LA maybe, I don't remember. But wherever, right? I see an out-of-state area code, whether I see it on Craigslist, whether I see it on Facebook Marketplace, or on a sign, I call it. Every single time I'll call it and say, hey, I'm actually not interested in renting. I have a couple properties around here, and I was just curious, are you interested in selling this? And a lot of times these people didn't really think it was an option, or they didn't want to go through the hassle of selling their rental because maybe they're out of state. Their rental is just good enough. The toilet's flush, the water runs, the lights turn on. They're just good enough. And they think that if it goes on the market, they're going to have to do repairs, they're going to have to do this and that. So when I call them as an investor, hey, I've got a couple houses in the neighborhood and just curious, would you be interested in selling? And I'm super easy, like quick closing, cash, can close in a couple weeks. Could I check the property out? Just start the dialogue. And I'm not saying it's going to happen on your first, second, or fifth, but maybe on your 7th, 10th, whatever, right? Just make the calls. And for everybody here who's like afraid of calling people and afraid of sounding stupid, I can promise you I sounded terrible my first 100 calls. And recently when I'm starting to like, I haven't done calls in a while, but like I'll do some extra calls just as like practice, and I'm like, oh my God, that was terrible. But before you can be good, you got to be bad. And I always go back to this thing I say all the time is you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. It's that simple, right? It's just that simple, and it's going to get easier. And you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. What we do is not normal. I stop at houses and run out to dumpsters. I stop and talk to people installing windows, right? I stop to talk to people putting shingles in. It's not normal. But guess what else isn't normal? I don't know, only working half the year, right? Having 60-some units, like being blessed beyond like belief, that's not normal, right? So the second you understand, if you continue to do normal things, you get normal results. Like, why would we want to be normal? Normal is the enemy of anything that any of you on this call that want to learn more stand for. That's it, man. That's it. Leo said, felt cold call again in a few years. Now it's fun just trying to make my pitch perfect. Leo knows, man. Leo is awesome at wholesaling, man. He knows what's up, but you just got to start before you're bad. You got to be bad before you're good. All right, the next way, guys, we're going to talk about driving for dollars. It's a classic, it's a staple, but it's real and it really works, okay? We want to talk about tall grass. We want to talk about door stickers. We want to talk about taking a different way home. I did this in the academy. I literally did this 2 days ago. My academy members you guys can vouch for this, right? I took a different way in a neighborhood. And I'm big. I always preach taking a different way. And this specific neighborhood was only like 5 streets. And I'm like, I don't really want to go down these other streets because these other streets are like dead ends. And I was like, you know what? I had extra time. I swear to you. I went down the one road. The very first house I saw had a yellow tag from Duke. That's what I get. I probably driven past this house 100 times. People probably aren't driving past it. Left him a sticker, reverse prospect. I'm going to share the rest of that with the academy. That's the inside. I don't want to do it in here. That's special for you guys. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But taking a different way home, looking for the absentee owners, right? Tall grass, designer dumpsters, all that kind of stuff. Talking to the neighbors. I did, Melissa. I got out of my car and left a tag. I'm going to get into that in a second too. So I'll actually do it right now. So those are just a few ways to find the deals, right, guys? Now, part of finding the deals that's super, super important is to understand that we need to be prepared, okay? We never, ever know when a deal is going to happen. We never know when there's going to be an opportunity to buy a house. We never know what any of that looks like. I want you to be prepared. This is something I share in my wholesale course. I'm going to give it to you guys here, a little tip, a little starter packet for getting going, okay? I always found this very helpful. This paper, guys, Clerk of Courts. That's it. I like this binder, or whatever it is. No notepad, no clip, whatever it is. You know what it is, right? This thing, right? This thing right here that opens up and has an inside, right? Let me tell you what's inside it. So, what we got inside here, we'll start with the basics. A highlighter, because when I'm going through a contract with anybody, especially a homeowner, I use standard Board of Realtor contracts. Clipboard. Thanks, Mo. I use a standard Board of Realtor contract, and I use highlighters just to highlight the fields, right? So they can draw their eyes, and they know where they're going, and they know where they're going to sign. And it's like habit. It helps me remember the fields, okay? Sharpie. The Sharpie is for writing on these things. These are little Avery little notes. You can get these at Staples, Office Max, or whatever. They're like $4 for, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them. I don't know, maybe they're more, maybe they're less. I don't know. but either way, they're sticky notes. You can get these. Important thing, guys, when you leave stuff like this, don't peel everything off on the back, and then don't run up to the door and stick it to the door like you never ever want it to come off. They'll give you calls because they hate you. And that's not what you want to do. I'll just like peel like a corner off and just stick it on a little bit. Or if I can get it stuck in between the screen door, whatever, like leave it right there. But that's another thing that's in the kit. Sometimes if you want to be fancy, right guys, I have these little things made at Zillow. Or not Zillow. What's that thing called? Matt, what's it called? The things where you, oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called. Vistaprint make them. They're not expensive. Hey, my name is Jerry. What does it say? I want to buy your house as is, no repairs, cash offer, quick closing, no realtor fees. Call me for a free home consultation. Boom. Super simple, guys. Leave these. They're not expensive. I think I got 500 of these for $80. Thanks, Juliana. Super essential, right? Then I got a checkbook. I keep a checkbook in here. I keep a checkbook. Listen, do not give a check directly to a seller for earnest money deposit. Always have a title company hold your earnest money. The title company needs to handle the transaction. I'll get into that here in a second when I talk about we're building out our team. In addition to those items, I keep a purchase contract. Standard, board of realtors, nothing hokey here. I'm not going to give you like a one-pager or crazy thing that looks weird because I literally, guys, this is a real deal. I picked up a deal I was working on. We're going to close on March 3rd or maybe the last week of February, whatever it is. I picked up a deal and I used my standard board of realtor contract and gave it to the seller. The seller had her attorney look at it. And her attorney, we spoke, and she's, yeah, my attorney said it was just a standard contract. He was worried it was going to be something else. And I'm like, yeah, it's literally a standard board of realtor contract. I found this deal. I'm buying it for $85 and I'm going to sell it for $105. But guess who the buyer is going to be? It's going to be me. I'm wholesaling it to myself and making $20,000 up front. That's 2.0. That's Academy info. I can't sit here and give that stuff out, guys. But if you want to learn more, you let us know. Standard board of realtor contracts, 5 pages. Something else in here that is special that I'm not going to share with everybody out here, but my Academy people know, is this addendum. I did have an attorney draw up this addendum, and you guys have it. Everybody in the Academy has it under the wholesaling thing. This is the special addendum for the wholesaling with the terms and the glossaries and the things that we have in here. So that is special. That's not like super necessary, just get going, but we paid a lot to get this stuff built out, so I want to share it with Academy members, obviously. And then, in addition, but you can do this with a standard board of realtor contract. Just Google wherever you live and print it. Go to the board of realtors. Every area has a board of realtors. Find out where they're at. Walk in and just say, hey, can I get a board of realtor contract? It's not like it's a secret. And then the last thing I keep is an assignment, right? Obviously, I keep this for the buy side, okay? Then I keep this for the sell side. Boom. And then I keep the checkbook. Screenshot. Joe, that's 3 pages on that addendum, man. And Joe, you're in the Academy. Get out of here. Just messing around. I do keep the check because I do write it out to the title company I want to use. Title partners, Stewart Title, whatever it is. But then I tell them like, hey, I made out to the title company. You can take a photo and this kind of completes everything. So this is what I like to keep in my clipboard. It's like my mobile office, which is really cool. But here's the most important thing, guys. The most important thing is going to be this document that I keep on the front that I look at every single day. That's obviously, it's like the bloodline of my business. And again, we can get free CRMs, we can get HubSpot, we can get free Salesforce, free whatever. And you're more than welcome to go do that stuff. And I even talk about it in the wholesale course too. But like I'm talking for me, like I need to like physically touch and document and see where I'm going and what's going on. And this right here is my task tracker. So I fill these out every day. So every day, name, the day, and then up here is where I track my leads. I track all my leads right here. I track my showings and my houses I look at and houses I show to investors. And then I track my signs. How many signs am I throwing in certain areas? What does it look like? What does it look like? And if I was never hitting the numbers that I wanted to hit, it all went back to what are my numbers? What do the numbers say? Because these numbers don't lie. Your outcome is a direct result of what you put in right here. I do not want to hear people sitting here saying, I couldn't do it. I did 20 driving for dollars. I stickered 20 houses. I put out 20 bandit signs. I did this. I did this. And then you're just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. That's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. People will get lucky. Some people can hit home runs. Like, I did the live with, I think his first or second wholesale deal in the Wholesale Academy, he made $54,000 on. And when he called and we were talking about this, and I'm like, JJ, like, that's not real. Don't get used to that, man. That is like amazing. It's incredible. But you got to understand that behind the big checks and behind all that comes the blood, sweat, and tears and the work to make it happen. And that's the most important thing. So we talked about like finding the deals. We talked about a lot. But let me talk about something that's really important too, guys. And I want you to understand about, you got to set up your team. So what does that look like? So you got to find a title company that really understands investors, really understands what does it mean to assign a property? How do you work with an investor? What does it mean to double close? That's another way to close a transaction besides selling the piece of paper. How do we double close? And an investor-friendly title company will help you so much because from the point you get the contract with the homeowner and then the point you get the assignment with the investor, those two pieces of paper go to the title company, okay? The title company takes them and they become the star of the show, right? They take that to the finish line. They get you to the finish line, and then you show up at closing and you collect the difference, your profit, the check, right? So it's really important to find a title company that understands this. And I'm going to like challenge everybody, man. Like, you guys have got to understand you can't be lazy. Like, you've got to go and meet these title companies. I don't want you to give phone calls and just like randomly just call people. That's lazy. Like, maybe if you want to screen a little bit, but we've lost the art, especially since COVID. Everything's Zoom, everything's whatever. And it's still like a lot that way, but just go and meet them. Hey, my name is Jarius, and I haven't done a deal yet. I want to get into wholesaling. Can you help me with that? Is that a transaction you'd be interested in? Blah, blah, blah. And then yes or no. And then you're going to find the right one. I promise they exist. Wholesaling is not a sin, right? As long as you do it like I'm telling you. I don't want to hear about people in here daisy chaining 50 deals. I don't want to hear about people astro flipping, whatever, off contracts on realtors. That's just not real. Like, we're not in this for whatever it is, guys. It's just not the right way to do it. Like, I want us to bring value, and I want to wholesale for as long as we need to get out of it. And then I want to become a source to source my own properties. Period. The end. That's it. Okay? Title company. Number 2, guys, is I need you to understand how important it is to find a real estate friendly attorney. Somebody that understands just real estate, right? Somebody that understands like what evictions, even though you don't need to worry about evictions right now at this point, but that understands like, how do you do an eviction? What's a 3-day? What's the process if I want to do an entity transfer? What if I want to do an asset sale? What if this property has a deed restriction and I can't double close it or I can't sign it? Guess what? I can do an asset purchase, and a good attorney can help me knock that stuff out. And then the next thing is, on your team, you got to have a really good investor-friendly realtor. Now, this is where I challenge a lot of people in the beginning. I got my real estate license because my motto was, do you want some of the money or none of the money? Because if I couldn't make a deal work as a wholesaler and an investor, then I could at least catch the back end of that and say, listen, okay, if our numbers don't work, that's fine. Let me put it on the market for you. I can list it for 1%. I'll give you a discount. I'll give you a deal to put it on the market. And then I'll get the listing and I'll make a little bit of money. I'll save them some money. But guess what else that's doing? It's helping to build my buyer list for future deals. Because who's going to go look at a house that I just went and looked at as a wholesaler? An investor. Somebody that knows that's distressed. We're not going to get first-time home buyers that come in to a house that like looks like crap and needs a ton of work, right? We're going to be able to build our network and build our circle. So that way when we do get that deal that works, we go, oh crap, man, I got 9 numbers from that last house I listed. I should call these people. Oh, I just picked up this house. I'm going to call these people, and guess what else I'm going to do? I'm going to call my title company that I built a relationship with and say, hey, title company, I just picked up a house here. I got it for 70. I'd like to get 75, 80 out of it. What cash buyers have you guys worked with that are buying stuff in this neighborhood? Oh, awesome. Cool. Awesome. Boom. Now they get to handle the closing. You literally just made a phone call. I can promise that when you get the deal, the investor is the easiest part. So we'll talk about getting rid of these properties. And that's the easy, again, getting rid of them is by far the easiest part. Once you understand how to analyze, underwrite, and find these deals, selling them is nothing. Like, you literally could post them anywhere. So the first thing I would do is get in communities, right? Find communities like Jacksonville, some Kansas City, like wherever you're at, get plugged into that circle. You want to just start networking with people. Honestly, like in the academy, we've got a lot of people doing stuff like wholesaling to each other, partnering on deals. But once you get that good deal, the rest falls into place. It's super, super easy. I like to stop at other rehab projects. Like houses I know that I've seen people are rehabbing, I'll go and look and go just try to meet the people rehabbing it. That's it. It's really simple. You're just building relationships. Just, hey, what's going on? My name's Jarius. Yeah, I'm actually wholesale. I pick up a few properties here and there. And listen, if you're brand new and you don't want them to know you're brand new, say this. Stop the investor. Use this for any investor, right? Oh, hey, what's up, man? I know you do houses here. Yeah, you know what? Just out of curiosity, would you be interested in doing something that in a project I'm maxed out right now? Would you be interested in looking at stuff that I don't have the capacity for? Oh yeah, sure. I'd love to look at it. Like you're maxed out, like, and he doesn't know you're maxed out because you don't even have any money, or you're literally maxed out. You don't have anything. I don't have the capacity for it because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just trying to wholesale it. Just the verbiage, just changing a few words here and there, a few tweaks, like game over. Don't let no experience stop you. But I can promise you, the best thing you could do that I wish I had sooner was having somebody that's been there. And this is what this academy's for, guys. If you want to learn more about this stuff, learn more about how we're doing it, how we do it, the verbiage, if you want somebody to help clean up some of the stuff you say, your lingos, say interested, say info, say whatever, and somebody will reach out to you. This is what we're all about, man. We just love doing this. I don't have a ton of time to sit here and do this all the time. I love doing it. So we got that. We got the realtors. We're talking about assigning the contracts. Yeah, we let the title company take the transaction home. Guys, I want to emphasize that this is not a long-term thing, all right, man? This is like a means to an end. I want this to turn into getting yourself out of debt, whatever it is you're trying to do, put a little money in your pocket, and then turn it into starting vertical integration, right? Vertically integrating your process from the very beginning of sourcing your own deals. So that's like a quick, like high-level breakdown of just being able to wholesale your first deal. Guys, I need you to understand, though, too, watch this video over, and you'll take something new out of it. But the most important thing you need to do is to take action. You need to take action, hold yourself accountable. If you need help holding yourself accountable, that's what our private group's for, our community is for. All we want to do is just build each other up and just help take everybody to the next level, because there's so much out there. There's literally so much opportunity out there for everybody that there's no reason for everybody not to help everybody just go get this done. All right, let me see here. I got some questions I'm trying to get to. I don't know where we left off. All right, how many pages is that contract? AK, the standard board realtor in Cincinnati is 5 pages. The one that you guys have in the academy, under the wholesale part, has my addendum, my addendums and stuff. My addendums are 3 pages. And then I even put property disclosures on there. So, like, I take it a step further, guys, because, like, I'm big. Listen, disclose. You can never disclose too much, okay, guys? Like, I'm never, ever under disclosing. This is a piece of paper for if you're a realtor, something our attorney drew up saying, hey, I'm a realtor. I don't represent anybody. I'm disclosing. Then, AK, I got, like, this cut through here. Property sold as is. So when these homeowners take this to get reviewed by whoever, it's not something that somebody jotted down on a napkin. Like, these are real forms, right? But we're modifying them. Hey, we don't need this page. It's just sold as is. I could leave this page out, but why? Like, why? It's just, I'm cleaning it up. I marked it off, but I'm just like, there's nothing to hide. I understand there's disclosures, but listen, I'm indemnifying you from it. I don't care. I'm buying it as is, and this is me putting an X through it. I don't even need it. Yeah, Mike, all this is in the academy, man. All this and so much more, man. It's so much is in there. The academy it's just incredible. I think since July of 21, it's created 24 millionaires in the academy, and it's just growing like crazy. We just launched city groups, more in-person meetups, more organized in-person meetups. Really cool stuff going on in the academy. See here. For those who don't know, what is the order of the agreement contracts to get done? All right, Juan, good question. The very first thing you want to get done before you do anything is get a contract signed between you and the seller. Very first thing. That's it. Joseph, the academy is changing life. The community is fantastic. It is amazing. It says if you're a real hustler, you get a screenshot of that checkbook. Man, now you got me all nervous. I don't think you can see it. Oh, you probably can't. Oh, whatever. Now I got to go close that account. Thanks, Megan. I need that task tracker. Yachty, it's in the wholesale course. Go to the wholesale course. On the right-hand side, there's documents and downloads. It's all there. The task tracker is there. I might have even pinned it in the private community. I think I did, but it's all in there, man. I emptied that account for Jerry. Thanks, Sean. It's nice. Guys, think about it. You're going to the grocery store. People like write checks all the time. Everybody has your account number. Just as Jerry said, no fluff. His coaching is genuine and proven. As you can see, this is just a bit of what you can learn. It's like a tiny bit, right? I was going through the academy today with Donald, and like looking at like old coaching calls, and I'm like, man, these are cool. We got a lot of really cool archive coaching calls in there. Stop telling them so much. Man, I can't. Listen, guys, I want to tell you everything, right? It's up to you to execute, but I can promise you this video is like nothing. This training is nothing compared to what you can get in the academy. Like even just the private training when Nate pops in and just does like a random live. I'll pop in and do something. Devontae does amazing coaching calls. Like Devontae's awesome addition. Caden, Nate's son, is in there Saturday mornings schooling kids on how to change their lives. Man, think about what the school system doesn't teach is all the stuff that matters. And then you got Caden in there, Professor Caden, just like teaching all these kids, man. It's amazing. Let's see. Juan says, my main focus is to get big in the BRRRR. Just started. Can I partner up with boys? I'm curious to name projects without having much money. Honestly, Juan, not really. For me, I'm just waiting, just finishing out what I have, just waiting to do bigger stuff. But I can tell you who you can partner up with are people in the academy, man. People from the academy that are doing it. People from the academy that are buying these deals. You can team up with. An example of, and this is a story that I love and it doesn't get shared enough. Maybe because it's like developing as we speak. But man, Chow is in the academy. She was on all these calls forever, like a day one. It feels like about, hey, and she would take over my coaching calls, man. She would just be like, hey, if everybody's looking for somebody, I've got experience. If everybody's looking. And then all of a sudden I look up and she's doing deals now with like Bobby in Florida and like the whole crew. So like the answer is you don't need to do deals with me or Nate or anybody else. And eventually you will, or whatever that looks like. But just start here, start in the academy, start in a private group and get in there and start learning. Troy says, what if you can't find a buyer for the property over on a contract? It's an excellent question. So when you're writing these agreements, be transparent. I'll go through the contract line by line with the seller, and I'll say, hey, I just need 7 days just to run through, make sure my numbers are aligned. And when I tell you guys, I don't want you to waste your time picking up deals. Like, you've got to feel good about a deal. Like, I've done thousands of transactions. I've probably given back, I don't know, 30 houses, 40 maybe? Not a ton. Like, we're not contracting things just because we want to waste paper. Like, we got to feel good about it. But that's a great question, Charlie. So I just write an inspection period. But again, if you don't feel super confident about it, then don't do it. Or just be honest. Say, okay, like, I know you're stuck on that number of 80. I told you my number was 77. Let me see what I can do. I don't know if it can fit my criteria, but I might have a friend it could work for. Is it okay if I run them through? Oh, sure. Whatever. Cool. Wrap it up for 80. You were honest, tight, whatever. And then run a couple people through at 85. At 83, whatever. You can make a couple grand and just get your first one in your belt. Not everyone has to be like a home run. You don't have to make an even 5 off every and even 50 like JJ or whatever. Like Lyle made 60,000 or something. Lyle came up to me at the BRRRR at one of our academy events. And hey, Jarius, I just did my first wholesale deal. Thanks. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome, man. Tell me about it. He's like, I bought a house for 120 and then I sold it for 185. I was like, oh, you made $60,000 on your first deal? He's like, not really. I had to split it with somebody. I'm like, dude, you made $30,000 on your first deal. How are you not going crazy? Like, I still get excited. That's insane. That's their first deal, right? Not every deal is like that. If I can put a couple grand on top and just get a smooth transaction and get moving and feel more comfortable, it's a couple $1,000. That's nothing to balk at. Joe says, if you can catch 25% of Jace's passion and drive, you'll be successful. He'll inspire you to work harder. Your network is your net worth. 1,000% true. People like you, Joe, and people like you, like guys, so many people in the academy, that you guys are just taking this, though, and implementing. That's just what it's all about. Right, guys? Guy said found a hot one last week. Owners allowing us to negotiate a short sale. That's awesome, man. Very cool. Guy, post that in the private group, man, because that might be a subject to deal, too, we could get creative on and see if we can find a way where you could end up walking away with it, and we could talk about that in the private community. But that's awesome, man. Guys at it. Guys going to crush it. Chris Long's building momentum. My focus is getting a BRRRR partner. Oh, I read that info. What's up, Ethan? Ethan sent me a message, man. I'm glad you made it on here. Are you still sharing any diagrams that break this down, stick figures? Maybe. I had somebody that made fun of my PowerPoints from last week. Matt Kruger, apparently, says I need help getting them dressed up. He's not wrong, though. Guys, I'm just like, I'm a real estate guy, man. I'm not like a PowerPoint person. My stuff's just my cursors on this. Like, I just got to keep it, like, simple. This is it. This is as good as I can do. But I'm telling you, when I tell you I broke this stuff down, guys, for our Academy members tomorrow, we got a really cool call, man. That's it. Black and white. We got nothing fancy here, guys. I'm just straight facts. If anybody wants to clean up my PowerPoints, that's in the academy, they're more than welcome to. And we'll share it to academy members, though. Todd says, wait, hold on. Sean says, join the academy, Juan. You learn the ropes and work your way up, brother. And yeah, and the longer you're in the academy, the more you're going to start talking like Nate. So everything's going to end with a brother. And you're going to be super energetic and amazing. So that's the energy that we all need to have. I've never talked to that guy, and he's not having the best day ever. And that's what makes it so much fun. Todd says, when is the video in the BIA group at tax lien strategy? We had Paul Glenn come on, talk about it. But we'll put some more stuff formal in there. Right now we're working on a creative financing and short-term rental stuff to go in the academy. So, Joe says, knowledge without drive and commitment will lead to failure dreams. Tanika says, in the academy, where can I find these forms? I'm in the academy. Wholesale portion. Look at the wholesale portion. On the bottom right side of the wholesale part, you're going to see like documents and downloads. All that stuff's there. If you don't see it, I can share it in the private group too. Just tag me in it. But they're all in the academy. The wholesaling part, Simone, thank you. Wholesale section. Oh my God, it's 9:04 already. Guys, that went fast. I love wholesaling. I love talking about this. This is the great equalizer, man. This is the zero money barrier to entry in real estate. All right, I'm going to give away one of my books. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a number on this piece of paper. And the person who gets the closest without going over will get a copy of it. So, I wrote the number. Hands are right here. If you guys want to get in the drawing, I'll give it like a minute or two. And then I'll put it up. A number between 1 and 100, closest without going over gets it. So, boom. Tanika, you found it? Good. Curtis says, Tanika hasn't got it far. Okay, good. Guys, and if you're in the academy, go through the wholesale portion. There's a lot of good stuff that's available right away, too. Curtis says, guys, what if a buyer wants to see the house and the seller is there, and they want to talk about price? All right, I like this a lot, man. So, Curtis, it's really important that we're working with these investors, and this is not an unusual event, right? It's not something that doesn't happen. So, prime your investors. You got to prime your investor and tell them, like, hey, listen, this is the deal that I negotiated. It's working with the seller. They're actually going to be there. So, I just told the seller I'm bringing a contractor through. If you could just be the contractor. When we're going through this, we'll talk about everything outside, okay? Cool. Just let them know. Just let them know the deal. Because you notice how I'm not like lying, like I'm telling the truth. And you're telling the homeowner, okay, I'm going to bring a contractor through. Which isn't a lie, because like they are like a form of a contractor. They're going to go and fix the house up and whatnot. But just be honest with them and just say that. Hey, we'll talk. It's okay. We'll go through the house. You want to get the numbers together. And then we'll talk numbers. Like we'll run over to Panera and we can talk numbers or whatever. We can go around the corner, whatever it looks like. Joe says there's no secret sauce in driving passion. Guys, I graduated 311th out of 320 kids, 9 from the bottom, 1.53 GPA. I can barely read. I'm terrible at reading. I wrote a book for people that don't like to read books. And I can read this contract pretty well. It does not discriminate at all on anything. It's just what you get out of it is what you put into it. That's it. We need a kids academy, man, one day. Eric says love all the content. Awesome, man. I'm glad you like it. Love pointing it out, guys. And if there's ever lessons and stuff you guys want to learn more about wholesaling, picking up your first deal or whatever, like always drop them below. But I strongly encourage everybody, man, check out the academy. It's changing lives, like big time. All right, guys. Have an awesome rest of the day.